Alright, this is corrective exercise for an issue with the upper extremities. So this is a cervical issue. So the clients come to us and they have headaches, their head obviously, and so there's a myofascial problem here. This is due to overactive muscles. So we've taken into account the overactive muscles. It's most likely the sternocleidomastoid, the upper trapezius, and the levator scapulae. So the first portion of the corrective exercise continuum is the inhibit portion. So we're going to be performing trigger point SMR on these overactive muscles. So I'm just going to demonstrate here. We're going to be using a trigger point ball. So what we're going to have our client do, we don't need the pillow for this one, is lie on this corrective exercise table. I'm going to be face up. And this is inhibiting the sternocleidomastoid. And the reason we don't want the pillow is we want to get that neck into a neutral position. With the pillow, it's a little bit flexed, and that we don't want that. So while they're lying down here, their hands can be by their sides. They're just going to turn their head directly in either direction, so either here or over there. And you're going to see the sternocleidomastoid pop right out. You're going to apply the pressure either right at the top, near the ear, right in the middle, or down by the clavicle. Now, it's important to keep in mind that we're working with the client's neck right now, so we're going to ask them ahead of time if this is okay, and a lot of times you're actually going to get your client to do the SMR trigger pointing on themselves, just so that it's not that discomfort thing. So that's going to be myofascial release for the sternocleidomastoid. So we're going to be doing one set of that. We're going to be holding that position for 30 to 90 seconds. In this case, it's going to be 90 because we're doing low intensity activity following this. Or if the client feels a release, you can take away the pressure because then the muscle is loosened. So the next muscle that we're going to be working with is the upper trapezius. So you can have the pillow for this one. Client can lie face down. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be releasing the upper trapezius. So it's going to be over closer to the humerus, right about here, if not a little bit more medial, right here. So we're going to be taking the trigger point ball, pushing right there. They're obviously going to be in a neutral position. I can't because my arm's in the way. My arm is in the way, but right there. Same parameters. It's going to be 30 to 90 seconds, one set, until you feel a release. And the last SMR exercise that we're going to be doing is for the levator scapulae. It's very similar to this one. They're also going to be lying face down. And the levator scapulae is quite a bit more medial towards the neck and a little bit inferior to where we're just pressing. So right about here, the levator scapulae. And for me, this one's the worst. You'll definitely be able to feel it. So yeah, with the same parameters, once again, it'll be 30 to 90 seconds and until they feel a release. So I have my client here, Ty. You can come over and lie on this side bench. Try to get you to just lie face up. Ty, are you uncomfortable with me performing SMR on your neck and your neck area?
No.
No, Ty is comfortable with me performing these exercises around his neck. So what Ty's going to be doing is he's going to be facing his head completely over towards the camera, and so we're trying to keep that chin in the same spot. We don't want it moving up, we don't want his head going up or going down at all. And the farther we can get it in that direction, the better. And the sternocleidomastoid is going to just pop right up, so you're going to know exactly where it is. And we're just going to try putting the ball right at the top, and we're going to ask, is that alright?
Yeah.
Can you feel tension?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah? What about here? We're just going to the middle portion of the muscle. What about here, more or less tension?
Less.
Less tension? Alright, we're going back up to that spot of tension, and we're going to apply some pressure there. Is that alright?
Yeah, that feels good.
So we're going to be holding this for 30 to 90 seconds in this particular video. Alright, and so now the next muscle that we're going to be releasing will be Ty's upper trapezius. So you can lie on your stomach. And if I could just have you put your hands down by your side. Is that a comfortable position?
Yeah.
Alright. So like I said, we're going to be releasing pretty close to the humerus. So we're going to find the humerus right there, and it's just a little bit more on the back side. How's that feel?
Good.
You feel tension?
Okay, yeah.
You feel more or less here?
More.
More. Okay, so I just moved the ball slightly medially. And so once again, holding this for 30 to 90 seconds until he feels a release. Alright, and you can stay in this position for the last muscle because the last muscle is the levator scapulae. And so it's going to be quite medial, quite close to the neck. Right about here. We're just going to be pushing. Find that pressure for 30 to 90 seconds. And good. Thank you, Ty.
Yeah.
So that is the inhibit portion of the corrective exercise continuum. Alright, the second portion of the exercise continuum is the lengthening of those overactive muscles which we have just inhibited. So all these stretches are quite simple. It's going to be the same 3 muscles. They're all going to involve putting a hand behind the back to stabilize the shoulder so we can really isolate that area. So for the first stretch, it's going to be the sternocleidomastoid. So they're going to have their right hand behind their back. Then they're going to take their left hand and guide, not pull. They're guiding their head to the left. And then they're looking up at the ceiling. You want to give them a visual cue like that just to help them with the stretch because they're the ones guiding themselves. And so you're watching that shoulder, making sure it's not coming up with it. That shoulder wants to stay in the same place. That's why we put behind the back. So we're pulling to the side and looking up for a really good stretch through the sternocleidomastoid. And so we're going to be doing 2 sets of each stretch, 2 on each side. We're going to be holding that for 20 to 30 seconds. 30 seconds is better, so we're aiming for that 30 seconds. In older populations, though, you might want to consider holding it longer for like 60 seconds and making sure that there's no like jerky movements. That's all nice and slow and fluid, so that your body doesn't freak out and so that you don't cause any damage. All right, so that's the first stretch. The second stretch is going to be for the upper trapezius. It's very similar. These are all very similar, so I'll show you with the other side. So they've got this hand behind their back. They're using this hand once again to guide their head directly to the side. And you don't want to see any of this or any of that. It's got to be directly to the side. So you're watching that chin, you're watching their head, making sure straight to the side. They should feel stretch all through here. Holding this for 20 to 30 seconds. 30 seconds optimal. And the last stretch is going to be for that levator scapulae. What we're going to do is we're going to have the right hand behind the back, either hand behind the back. They're going to be pulling to the side and looking straight down, say into their pocket, giving them a visual cue again. To the side and into that pocket. Once again, you're watching that shoulder, making sure it stays stationary. Should feel a stretch all in the back of their neck. And those are the 3 stretches that we're going to be using for the lengthened portion of the corrective exercise continuum. Now I have my client here, Ty. So he's going to be performing these stretches. So, alright Ty, we're going to start out by stretching your sternocleidomastoid. So that's the muscle up here that we just released. So I want you to put your right hand behind your back. And now take your left hand and put it up here on top of your head like this. And now using that hand, guide your head to the side. You don't have to pull, just guide your head to the side as far as you can go, and then look up at the ceiling. Feel that stretch?
Yeah.
You're just going to hold this there for 30 seconds, and we're going to do another one. Alright, that's good. And the next stretch that we're going to be doing will be for the upper trapezius.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the left hand this time. We're going to put that behind your back. Now you're going to take your right hand, put it on top of your head, and guide your head directly to the side. So I'm watching here to make sure that his head doesn't move and that shoulder stays down. His shoulders are really good, nice and stationary. So as far as you can stretch it, don't pull.
A little bit, yeah, as far as it can go.
Once again, holding this for 30 seconds. We're doing 2 sets of each stretch, so 2 times on each side, but for the purpose of this video, we're only going to be showing 1 set for time purposes. Alright, that's good. And now the last stretch is going to be put your right hand behind your back, and the same thing, keeping that shoulder stationary. You're going to put your hand on top of your head again, in the same position as the last two. Pulling to the side, and then you're looking down into your pocket. You're trying to see what's in your pocket. Do you feel that stretch? You can see that stretch.
I feel it.
So just a quick review. The important things are making sure that shoulder stays stationary, that the head stays in the position that you're trying to aim for, because if you move the head, you're changing which muscle you're stretching. And obvious points to include, you want to make sure that their body posture is all neutral, so feet shoulder width apart, spine neutral, all good. That is the complete length and portion of this exercise continuum.
Okay, so this is the activation portion of CES. So we are going to be activating the splenius capitis, which is going to be helping the problems with the headaches that we are having with our client. So what we're going to get them to do, this is the demonstration. So we are going to get them to come against the wall, put their head against the wall, have your feet just slightly out, so you can have your head against the wall for, have the weight on your head. So what you're going to do is 25% for 4 seconds, then relax for 2 seconds, and then go for 50%, hold for 4 seconds, and then go back down for 2 seconds, and you're going to do 75% and 100%. And we're going to do that for 1 to 2 sets. So now I'm going to get my client Ben here to come and do the exercise. So I'm going to get him to stand against the wall, put your head against the wall, bring your feet out slightly, make sure you still have neutral position. What you're going to do is just use your head, push against the wall with your head for about 25% of your strength. I'm going to make sure that he is stabilized. Alright, and you're going to go for 4 seconds. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 2 second rest. And now we're going to go to 50%. So 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to go to 75%. So 4, 3, 2, 1. And now all you got. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. And that is this splenius capitis. So the next exercise we're going to do is work on isolation of the lower trapezius. So what we're going to get our client to do is lay down on the corrective exercise table. And we're going to get a pillow. And we're going to get them to just bring out their arm and push for 25 seconds to 25%. We're going to get our client to push for 25%. And then we're going to get them to push for 50%, 75%, and 100%. So we're going to go for 4 second count, 2 seconds off, just like we did with the other exercise, and we want to make sure that their thumb is pointing in the air. So I'm just going to get my client Ben to come over here. And we're only doing one arm for time purposes in this video. So I'm going to get you to bring your arm out. I'm going to keep my hand on your opposite shoulder, and I'm going to hold your arm, and I want you to push for 25% and keep your thumb up, yes. And 4 second count whenever you're ready. 4, 3, 2, 1, and 2, 1. Okay, 50%. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, 75%. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, and last one. All 100%. 4, 3, 2. Good job. And that's the activation portion of the CES. Alright, so this is the integration phase of corrective exercise. So what we're going to do is start with a exercise that is going to involve the whole full body, which is also going to focus on the splenius capitis, which we did in our activation phase. So what we're going to do is do the opposite leg and arm at the same time, lift them up and straighten them all the way out. And what you're going to do is do a 4 to 1 count, and you're gonna make sure that you keep your core stabilized, and you're gonna keep the sets and reps at, well, the reps are gonna be at 10 to 15 reps, and then the sets are gonna be for 1 to 2 sets. So what we're gonna do is just lift out like this. Make sure you keep your head up, so you activate the splenus capitis, and come back down for 4, 3, 2, 1 count. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what I'm going to get my client to do now. So can you come over here then? So what we're going to get you to do is get on your hands and knees. Keep your core tight. Keep your neck in neutral position. And lift your opposite arm and opposite leg at the same time. And maybe come back, come back a bit, yeah, just like that. Shoulder width apart. Yeah, just like that. And now I just want you to do a 4, 3, 2, 1 count. So, yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, other one. 4, 3, 2, 1. And don't forget to breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. So that's our first exercise. So the next exercise we're going to do is a modified wall ball combo. So what we're going to get our client to do is lay down on the table because we do not have a ball. What we're going to do is lay down. Use the dowel as a weight. So what you're going to do is just bring the weight up and bring it back. And make sure your head doesn't fall down like that. You want to make sure it stays up. And make your elbows point towards the ground. You're going to do a 4, 2, 1 count. So come down for 1. And then 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 1, 1, 2. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to do that for 10 to 15 reps and for 1 to 2 sets. So Ben, you think you can do that?
Yep.
Perfect. So I'm going to get you to lay down on your belly. Make sure you bring the dowel out all the way. Yeah. And bring it behind your head. Keep your head up. Try your left. Yeah, there you go. And yes, perfect. Keep breathing. And make sure you do a 4, 2, 1 count. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that head up. There you go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Good job, Ben. And that's our integration phase of the corrective exercise.